2024 is coming to an end. In this past year, we have seen big tech companies continue to reshape the world we live in, the cost of living digging millions in a deeper and deeper financial hole, and global conflicts making the world more and more unstable. And as we approach 2025, the world is going to continue to change, and we're going to see the rise, as well as the continuation of many trends that impact how we spend our money. And in this video, I want to talk about 10 of those trends. And the first trend is fees, and more bullshit fees. Now, one trend that is becoming increasingly popular is companies charging fees to make their prices seem cheaper than they actually are. For example, if you have ever booked an Airbnb like this one, you'll look at the price and think, $150 a night, that ain't bad. However, once you reach the checkout, you notice the price is substantially more than you thought because of fees, like an expensive cleaning fee, an expensive service fee. Fees allow companies to squeeze every last dollar from us consumers without us even noticing, and this practice is becoming increasingly popular across all industries. Restaurants are charging packaging fees, parking garages are charging transaction fees, and car dealerships are charging fees up the ass. You can literally charge fees for anything nowadays, and to be completely honest, most of these fees are complete bullshit. And in 2025, we're going to continue seeing companies add fees alongside their prices. The second trend is the increase of third-party involvement. Now, the reason that we have so many fees nowadays is because most transactions are processed through a third party. For example, back in the day when you wanted to order takeout from a restaurant, you would get food and the restaurant would get your money. The process involved two parties, you and the restaurant. However, nowadays, most transactions involve a third party, like Uber Eats, who charges fees in order to complete the transaction, which increases the price by a couple percentage points. Third parties, who are often tech startups, are becoming increasingly more involved in the transaction process, which means that us consumers will pick up the tab in the form of more bullshit fees. The third trend is the steady price increase of dominant services. Another trend that we're going to continue to see as we enter 2025 is dominant services that we have grown dependent on steadily increase their prices year after year. For example, Netflix started their streaming-only service in 2011 for $7.99 a month, and over the years, they have steadily increased their prices, where 13 years later, it has increased by 94%. Sneaky, ain't it? Many services that we have grown accustomed to using have steadily increased their prices over the years because they know that we have grown dependent on them. Another example of this is Amazon Prime, which has increased their prices 76% in 19 years. In 2025, we are going to continue seeing the trend of companies steadily increasing their prices year after year, and people will stay with them because they have grown dependent on them. The fourth trend is a diversity in pricing tiers. Now, this is a trend that we're seeing, and we're going to continue seeing as we enter 2025, where many companies offer multiple pricing tiers to attract a wider variety of customers. For example, in 2011, when Netflix started their streaming service, there was only one price, $7.99. However, nowadays, they offer a cheaper plan and a premium plan. Companies want to appeal to a wider variety of customers, and so they're offering a diverse option of pricing tiers. Another example of this is when you book an Uber. You have the option to share, to not share, to wait, to not wait, an electric car, a large car, a car allowing pets, and a luxury car. In 2025, companies are going to continue offering more complex pricing plans in order to attract a wider variety of customers. The fifth trend is free services beginning to offer paid versions. Again, this is another trend that we're seeing right now, but it's just going to continue to grow as we enter 2025. Companies who offer free services like YouTube will offer paid versions like YouTube Premium that allow subscribers to watch ad-free. Many free services are starting to offer paid versions of their services. Another example of this is Facebook and Instagram are offering a subscription for no ads in Europe. And although this might sound bad, I think that it is a good thing, because when you pay for something, it ultimately gets better. I mean, as a regular viewer of YouTube, by paying $13.99 a month, I might avoid watching 30 minutes of ads a day, or 10,680 minutes a year. Most free internet companies make their money by manipulating your attention to run ads, but when you instead opt to pay for the service, you become the genuine customer and you ultimately get a better experience that is less manipulative and more in service to you. The sixth trend is everyone entering the advertising game. Ironically, some of the most profitable companies in the world are companies whose services are completely free, but they make their money through advertising. There is a lot of money to be made in advertising. I mean, I'm making my living, a good living, I might add, in advertising. And many companies are starting to see the profitability in advertising and getting in the game. For example, I was at the airport the other day, and upon connecting to the internet, I was forced to watch an advertisement first. Another example is I was at the gas station the other day, and an advertisement was playing as I was pumping my gas. Many companies whom we have never seen run advertisements are starting to get in the game. And in 2025, we're going to see advertisements in places that we have never seen them before because it is a profitable game. The next trend is the increase of data collection. Data has become the world's most valuable resource. I mean, when a company knows your personal information, interest, and search history, they can target advertisements to make them more profit and also use it to train their AI models. Data is more valuable than oil nowadays, and the more data a company has on you, the more money that they can make. And so companies are starting to find new ways, new sneaky ways to collect data on you. Like cars collecting data on your driving, or smart devices collecting data inside your home. In 2025, we will continue seeing companies invading our privacy to collect data in new areas that we have never seen before, and our government, of course, will do nothing about it. The eighth trend is dynamic pricing models. Dynamic pricing models are something that everyone watching this has experienced before. For example, when you book an airplane ticket, the price will fluctuate day to day, which often encourages you to buy it sooner rather than later. Dynamic pricing is when prices change in real time based off real-time demand. And because companies have so much data on this, we're starting to see dynamic pricing in places that we have never seen it before, and prices fluctuate throughout the day. For example, Walmart uses digital price tags to change their prices throughout the day. Uber uses dynamic pricing based on real-time demand, and Amazon uses dynamic pricing based on real-time demand. In 2025, we're going to see dynamic pricing become more a part of our lives so companies can squeeze every last penny from us, which will create more stress on the consumer. The ninth trend is businesses no longer accepting cash. Another trend that we're going to see in 2025 is the decline of cash to a point where many companies stop accepting cash altogether. And to some extent, it makes sense why a company would choose to go cashless. I mean, digital transactions are easier to keep track of. Not having cash around makes you less susceptible for crime, and it even prevents employees from stealing money. As a business, there are many benefits to not accepting cash and going all digital. And in 2025, we're going to see many companies, mainly in cities, I think, stop accepting cash altogether. Now, the final trend that will impact you in 2025 is the continuation of the sharing economy. As life becomes more and more expensive, owning things is becoming out of reach for many people. And so we've seen this rise of the sharing economy, which is an economic model that allows consumers to share, usually through apps, have an extra room to rent out, start an Airbnb, have a car and some time, be an Uber driver. Share, 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 ladies and gentlemen. As they say, you will own nothing and be happy. Life is becoming so expensive to the point that we are having to start to share our resources. And in 2025, we will continue to see the rise of the sharing economy. And we will see many companies and many apps create new ways in which we can share our resources. And of course, they're going to collect a little fee to process the transaction. And those are the 10 trends that are going to impact you in 2025. And with that, muchas gracias. Que tengan un buen día. Nos vemos, chicos.